that's the other thing, is if on high value coins with NGC, they charge 2% of market value. So if I give them $1 million coin, I have to pay them $100,000 to slab it.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. And what if they're wrong?
Sure.
You know. So, and then you have people who are doing slabbed ancients, encapsulations, which I have one back here. Let's grab one. Here's one that's encapsulated. I don't necessarily sell them this way. I normally crack them out. Occasionally I'll sell them to new people that are starting out, but this is just an opinion. They don't, NGC does not guarantee the authenticity. They guarantee, even though the name of the company is NGC, which stands for Numismatic Guaranteed Corporation. Yeah. So they do guarantee everything else except for ancient coins. And the reason is that they mess up just like the rest of us. Yeah. And so they are a good vetting process or company for that. But the one thing I have a problem with them is that people overpay for the slabs. And once somebody gets this in their hand, which tends to be telemarketers or US dealers that don't know anything about ancient coins. Yeah. And they end up following the pricing that's going on at Heritage and at Stacks. They're selling slabbed ancient coins, which is only about 20% of the market or less. And so most ancient coins are sold raw all over Europe, in fact. And most of the larger dealers in ancient coins don't sell slabbed coins; they sell raw coins. And reason is we have to guarantee everything we sell for life. And so, okay, there we go. What was the question then?
Well, yeah, it was just that I think NGC. Does NGC get fooled? Question mark. And I know that they have, and I know probably a lot of people would be surprised to hear that they've actually, of course, they have you know, put coins in capsules and authenticated in them. And of course, they've turned out to be not authentic.
Correct. Or they may say something is tooled, like overcleaned.
Sure.
That isn't. I'm going to be profiling this coin actually in my next podcast. This is an ancient coin that I sold to a dealer actually, and you can see they wrote not genuine. Well, this came from a dealer in Israel who actually cleaned the coin, and I have the before clean photos.
Wow. Awesome.
And this particular dealer in Israel is one of the best. He's been doing numismatics for 40 years, and he actually helps the Antiquity Authority, the government in Israel, authenticate coins. And he cleaned the coin himself, and he had the before photos. So I knew that the coin was good, but I wanted to let him know. And and so they condemned it for whatever reason. But, you know, I'm just going to use it as a teaching opportunity. The coin was only $500. It wasn't that big of a deal.
Sure.
It was just the fact that I can kind of show people that everybody makes mistakes.
Sure.
No one is perfect.
Sure.
The problem is that for me, when because NGC doesn't guarantee the authenticity, they have no skin in the game. Okay. So they can charge whatever they want, and there's no recourse if they make a mistake. When they condemn a coin like this, I had to give back $450 to the dealer who bought it from me, even though it's real, because they particularly only sell coins in slabs. So so it's not a big deal to me. I give him back his $450. I don't care. But the fact is that what if it was a $10,000 coin?
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
And so there has been situations where they have. I still say, and I'll give them lots of compliments that they are still very good at what they do, but they're not perfect. Okay.
Right.
So, and the issue I've always had is, why not guarantee up to a certain level for them? Like maybe everything that's under $10,000 they should guarantee, because if they feel like they're really great at what they do, they should be able to cover 10,000 and below without an issue and just self-insure. They're making enough money because, for instance, if you that's the other thing is, if on high value coins with NGC, they charge 2% of market value. So if I give them $1 million coin, I have to pay them $100,000 to slab it.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. And what if they're wrong?
Sure.
They're still taking their $100,000 and there's no recourse for them.
Yeah, and I suppose something that strikes me a little strange is that, other dealers have to put their name on the coin and they're backing it up themselves, which can be very costly in that case. Whereas they get to use the label Guarantee Corporation, and they're not guaranteeing, and so that's just kind of odd.
That brings us to an interesting thing that happened this week to me. So Mike, if you want to go to the slideshow.
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, absolutely, sir.
So this is a coin of Trajan minted at Alexandria in Egypt. So this is a provincial coin of Trajan, and then you have on the reverse figure driving a quadriga of elephants.
Yeah, I was going to say these are elephants.
These are elephants. That's right. And so this would have been minted between 98 and 117 AD. The denomination is called a dram. And this is just a large, even though it doesn't sound like, we've talked about the silver drams of the Greek period, but in here, these are actual bronze coins. They're fairly large. You can see my hand behind it. Pretty big.
It's about the size of a quarter, right?
No, much bigger. Much bigger. More like $50.
Okay.
So, but if you look just to the right, you can see, so I bought this coin out of Israel, and I bought it from a Israeli dealer who actually is one of the best cleaners in the world for ancient coins. And he's been cleaning ancient coins for 40 years. And if you look, that's the reverse of the coin before it was cleaned. And so you can see it was completely encrusted with sediment from the earth. And he spent a lot of time cleaning this mechanically to get rid of all the incrustation and to bring out the details.
It is amazing the job that he did on this.
He did. So what's even more interesting about this, Mike, so I sold this to a dealer who then submitted it to NGC. And if you go to the next slide, oops, they said not genuine. And so, of course, I knew the coin was okay. I could see that there was green deposits on it. I'm not sure why they said it was fake. So, of course, I sent it to the Israeli dealer who I bought it from and said, before you get mad, I just want you to know that I believe you, but I wanted you to see it. He kept his photo from when he cleaned it. So if you go back to the first slide, so there's the coin. It's obviously ancient. It's obviously, I mean, it's not like somebody would make a fake coin and then add thousands of years of sediment to it.
Well, the turnaround time on that's kind of long.
Right. Right. And I mean, I sold the coin for like $450. It wasn't a big deal. I gave back the money immediately. No problem. But it's obviously the coin is real. Everybody makes mistakes. But the problem I've always had with NGC not having any skin in the game is when they make a mistake, dealers pay for it. Mm-hmm. And when they make a mistake, nobody pays for it. And so, except the dealer.
And what's worse about that is that, they're having an impact on stuff without putting any real value into it when they guarantee it, because whether they're right or wrong doesn't really matter all that much.
No, and I mean, this isn't a big deal, but and maybe now the Israeli dealer, he actually does authentication work for the Antiquity Authority in Israel. So he's part of the government that does work for the Antiquity Authority. And so he knows his stuff. And so I think he was probably going to talk to David Vagian about this coin in particular and show him like, look, guys, it's, maybe you didn't like my cleaning job or something, but
well, I think that'd be a good learning experience for NGC though, is to talk to him and say, okay, look, it's like, here's what we saw and this is what we thought. And maybe he could help them to understand better what actually happened.
Right. And, and they obviously had a reason for doing it. Maybe they thought the surfaces looked fake for some reason.
Well, I don't think they had it in for anybody. I mean, they condemned it because they really thought it wasn't genuine. So
no, but ultimately they must have really been certain, because they can come back and just say
questionable authenticity,
that it's questionable authenticity and they don't know. I can tell you that if you look on the far left on the edge of the reverse, you can see two little bright green spots on the edge. And those actually, you look under magnification, that's actually ancient incrustation, ancient patina that's there. So yeah, they could have taken an ancient coin and restruck it and made it modern, but this is obviously not the case. So, I just thought it would be a great learning experience for all of our listeners. And I'm not really trying to I sort of am poking at NGC, but I'm also at the same time just saying that this is the problem with ancient coins in general. And sometimes even the people who are vetting these things, they need all the information before they make a decision, because it does hurt the bottom line of legitimate dealers that are just trying to do the right thing. So
through no fault of their own.
No. And I mean, the dealer I sold it to, they don't have any problem. And I showed it to them so they understood. And they even said to me, look, Aaron, you're legit. I totally don't worry about it. But I said, I understand that, but I still want you to see what the situation is so you understand as well. So and look, I mean, I've had coins that I've sold over the years occasionally that come back from NGC that were fake, and I had to give money back in that. And I was happy to do so when I realized that we made a mistake as a company. So and the other thing
everybody
is,
makes mistakes.
Of course, but it all comes down to when they make a mistake, it costs other people money. It doesn't cost them money.
They're playing with other people's money.
Right. Exactly. So, and it's a good service. It's just a matter of, getting it right. And I know there's a lot of battles going on behind the scenes with NGC and some of the bigger firms. I saw some of that in New York playing out, where they were having debates on why they thought something was ancient and the auction house thinking it was real. And both are very, very good academics on both sides. I'm not naming names because it's not my business to name it. But my point is that ancient coins have always been there for the market and the industry to vet as a whole. And so when you have three people, and it's really just David and Barry for the most part, who are deciding whether something is real or not, that may not be enough people. Sometimes you have to show this thing around to 3, 4, 5, 6 different dealers before you get a consensus. And so that's the only issue I might have. I know sometimes they will show coins to other people that they're not sure about, but that might be happening less and less as their confidence grows and what they think that they know over other people. That might be the case. So, but I think that's always been the problem with authentication, is that it's better to do it as a group, as a industry, and less of single people or single companies doing it. But there's also been really positive things that NGC has done for the market at the same time. So it's a catch 22 situation. But
it shows you that nothing is completely good or completely bad. There's up and down to everything.
And, even when I was talking to the Israeli dealer, he said, I've seen a lot. He's an expert on Jewish coins, obviously. And he said, I know lots of Jewish coins that I've seen in NGC holders that are 100% fake. And so,
Yes.
you know, and he's an expert in that area, so he would know more than most.
Sure.
So, you know, bottom line is that we're all here for the same reason, and that is to further ancient numismatics, or just numismatics as a whole. And none of us are out to screw anybody, and we all want to get it right.
Right.
Ultimately.
And sometimes we're going to get it wrong, and it will take several iterations to get it right. But eventually, I think we, on the whole, get it right.
Right. So anyway, that brings us to our pearl of wisdom, and I think it's a great way to go in there because we're just talking about it. And my pearl of wisdom is kind of something that I lived my life to as well. And it's not really a business thing. I was like thinking, like, we've covered so many pearls of wisdoms here.
Mhm.
We're on number 40. This is number 41.
Yes.
So you run out of some pearl of wisdoms, guys. So
your necklace is full. Is that what you're telling me?
it could be. But you know, ultimately I think that we all just need to be, there's a lot of, you know, with politics and the world and a lot of people against each other. I think ultimately we just all need to be good to each other. And so that's my pearl of wisdom. Guys, let's just be good to each other.
Jerry Springer. Be good to each other. You know, be good to yourselves and each other.
And,
So yes,
you know,
what the world needs now is love. That's what I should be playing right now, the Dionne Warwick song in the background.
Exactly. Or the Beatles.
Yeah, let it be.
Let it be.
Yeah. So
all we need is love. Bum, ba-da-da-da.
So yeah, it's I think that a lot of times we all come from different places. We all have different backgrounds, and we are definitely in different places in our lives. So because of that, we're going to have different viewpoints, and we're going to have different priorities. And a lot of times that means different politics. And, you know, as a coin community, we have to kind of let that part of it go and focus on the coins and focus on how that brings us together so that we can solve the other problems later. But for right now, let's just get together. Let's enjoy some coins and let's have some fun.
Right.
And speaking of having fun, we've got something special for our listeners. Do you want to go to it?
Sure.
And we are joined tonight by a very special guest, somebody very near and dear to the program. Aaron, would you like to introduce your father?
I certainly will. My father, Harlan Berk. How you doing, Dad?
Fine. How are you today?
I'm good. I just saw you earlier today, but I'm still doing well. So we're going to talk about your 100 Greatest, Volume 3, third edition of the 100 Greatest Ancient Coin book. The first two sold out, and so now we're on number 3.
Available in bookstores nationwide, and at the HJB website, hjbltd.com.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
We noticed some cave paintings on the back of a coin book. How did that happen, Dad?